Hello everybody, welcome back. We are going to mulligan this hand. We're in the next round, we're already a little bit in. Not too big of a complaint, but two bad hands in a row definitely makes you not as happy. I'm going to keep this one. We don't know what our opponent's playing, and we've got one land that can be anything. We've got the Abrupt Decay, we've got the Stone Forge. We have possibilities, that's the big thing. And with us being a little bit further behind, it kind of raises the question of what exactly is going to happen. I'm going to get rid of a blinking screen here. Okay. Yeah, it drives me nuts when things like that happen. Yeah. Our opponent may be being nice to us. I had told my opponent that we had to wait for a moment while I quick finished up the rendering and whatnot. We were the last match done last round, so yeah. On this hand a little bit, if our opponent is playing show and tell, we have a possibility of winning just because this can turn into basically any forest or plains. But I'm going to assume that we are not playing against that, and instead are probably playing against a reanimator of some type. Nope. What do we got here? Well, we know they're playing blue. I'm not going to fetch. I'd like the probabilities to be as high as possible to hit another land. And now we've drawn the Batter Skull, so at least the 5's out of our deck. But we may be kind of dead here. So blue-black decks that don't do anything on turn 1. You have Esper, you have, well, I would say Reanimator, but they typically do something on turn 1, be it Entomb or Reanimate. You have combo decks, apparently Bug. If this is a Liliana, I'm just going to concede. The reason I'm going to just concede is because he's already got the lands to be able to deal with us, and we are way too far behind to even pose a threat. If we had hit the land on turn 2, we could have dropped the Mystic and tried to stay in this, but we didn't hit that, and it ain't going to be pretty. So, we know we're up against a bug deck. Yeah, we're just too far behind to start dealing with that. So, in come the Finks. I'm been debating, one of the things that I've been thinking about, this actually may be good, that I've been debating about is actually the discard, on whether or not we should actually go that route. And I shouldn't say we, I should say I. Because, I mean, we have, excuse me, we have cards that we can bring in that are discard, that are usually pretty good in this matchup. And I think I am going to bring them in. I'm going to cut this down, though. So we'll take those two. Anything else up here that I want? He's going to be making a sacrifice. There's only going to be that one thing that's going to be big. Thalia would be nice, but not so much. And Choker's kind of an up in the air. I guess we could leave that for now, not worry about it. Other cards that are bad in this matchup, you're pretty bad. Just because they already have ways to deal with you. And you're actually kind of bad, ironically. The rest of this is perfectly fine. I'm going to go with this. The Finks are going to be better than the Knight because there's no real way for him to successfully get rid of this without 2-for-1-ing. Whether it be a Deathrite activation or whatnot. Doesn't matter. Yes, I'd like to play first. I'd like a hand that actually counts. So yeah. We got 2 games, 22 minutes, and a hand that does not count. So let's go ahead and mulligan. And a hand that does count. And I'm actually going to keep this one, play the birds on the first turn. Probably library, but if he plays a shaman, I'm going to swords him and then shaman him. Still having the birds up. Or swords him and then bog him, not shaman him. And I think I'll swords him on his... No, I'll swords him on my turn. No point in letting him untap and then be able to spell pierce. That, and I'll never remember to put that stop during the upkeep. So, yeah. Oh, the things that change with real life. Maybe his hand isn't that great, and he'll come down to 6 with me. But my hand is actually really good. If we draw a non-untapped mana-producing, or a untapped mana-producing land, we'll be able to play the library and swords. But for right now, the plan is just bird into kill his shaman into play this or this. Most likely this. No, I take it back, this. Because he'll untap, he'll have 2 mana, he'll probably kill this, and yeah. Yeah, I think I'd rather play this, because if he wastes a decay on this, or this, I'm a lot happier than if he went for a decay on this. So, if we're going to be up against a Liliana, I'd rather have one of these. And again, I don't know if we're still connected. We are still connected. It literally takes an instant. If you're wondering if you're connected or not to the game server, apparently your rating is actually connected to the game server, so that's a good way to check. But nothing is as useful as he kept his hand. We are not going to 5. Nothing is as useful as just reconnecting to the game. Now, if you are an older player, you know the first turn rule of Birds to Paradise, and it is Bolt the Bird. And the reason is because it opens up a lot of possibilities for things that could be happening. Your opponent could be mana screwed, in which case we're not in this situation, but we don't have a play for next turn. Oh, that's interesting. Cute. We'll go ahead and bog him. No point in bogging ourselves. I'm not going to attack because we have a swords. If we didn't have the swords and we had all 2-drops, I'd attack for the amusement of it. Our opponent would laugh a little bit. We could laugh a little bit. Just it's fun all around. Most of these lists don't have kind of a 1-drop removal. Ooh, double. All right, deck. We've been wastelanded twice, and you pull through, you lovely, lovely woman. Let's go ahead and get this down. It's gotta be forced. Alright. Now we'll go ahead and go for this one. So now we've got this one. We are out of lands. We got lucky. We could have easily not hit in a land. I'm assuming he's got a Spell Pierce in hand, if you're wondering. Not a Spell Snare, but a Pierce. Okay. So he's looking for more stuff. If we get another land, we get to wasteland him. I would like another land. And then we get to also play this, because if he's got the force, he's got the force for it. Yeah, I didn't think so. We're actually going to wasteland this. Most of his creatures, yeah. Most of his creatures will be of 1. Kitchen Finks, nope. We didn't get the another land, so that whole thing was moot. But we do have our second library, thankfully. Hopefully he does not have a Liliana, because this is our only colored source. It doesn't matter right now. This could be a Goyf. Or another Decay. Shardless Agent into... Alright. So I'm not worried about the 2 damage. That's the one that I care about. Right there. And that's because it gives him a double black. We have something to beat out that 2 damage anyway. Yep. Yes. Always. So of these cards, I would like the 2 lands. So we get to swords this, play a Goyf. Okay. We'll put them back like that. So we can swords this one. I guess the question becomes, do we play the Goyf or do we wasteland this? He didn't play a second black, and he needs a second black in order to actually be able to do that. If we do this, we can play Sphinx next turn. Now we can get in. Attack him for 1, bird. Thankfully this isn't flying. So we take 2 here. Depending on what happens from his end, we may see some other things, but it looks like he may be short on mana. Alright. So I want that. And we're going to put these back like this. Let's go ahead and pop this Goyf down. Alright. So he's a black mana away from being able to kill this. Well, there's a black mana. He's a second black mana away from being able to play Liliana. And of the things, I think he'd rather kill this. we are also in a bad position as far as our mana base goes. But we are only one land away from being able to play this without the bird. So let's see. Next turn we go get Deathrite Shaman. That'll reshuffle shuffle our library, unless we see a Liliana of our own. If the choice is between these two, it's definitely this. That's not a choice. It's just a reality. Then we'll play the Finks after that. Him not having the ability to actually take full advantage is helpful. Okay, so he's opting for the Goyf. Alright. Let's see. If we find a fetch land, I'll actually keep the fetch land. We did not find a fetch land. Let's put those back. I would keep the decay. I think it's okay to not have it right now. And you know what? I'm going to cancel this. I'm not going to shuffle. I'm actually just going to plop this Sphinx down. Because the fear is that he's just going to draw a swamp and then go in. Or that he's got a Spell Pierce in hand, in which case this doesn't get there. What we can do is go get a green land, which cannot be decayed. That's what we can do. If this is Jace, that's kind of annoying. Liliana, okay. Let's go ahead and sack this one. So I can Thoughtseize him, have a look, and then go from there. What will we lose? If I Thoughtseize him, he goes to one card in hand. Chances are that it's not a Spell Pierce. I then get to... So I put both of these back, and that doesn't do a thing to me, basically. So we Thoughtseize him, and then I can go get a Deathrite Shaman. Liliana, Baleful Strix. Okay. I'm actually going to take the Strix here. I'll leave him with the Liliana. We want to be able to go for one. Take the Deathrite Shaman. Alright, so we should have colors. What we're hoping to see is a green Sun Zenith at this point. Yeah. Her +1 is now only hurting him. Although it won't be for long. Got rid of Ancestral Vision. But we need to deal with her this turn. Preferably there and hand, which we can do. So we'll put these two back. I'm actually going to keep the Thoughtseize. Put that back on top. Swords there. That was a great draw, by the way. Take out his hand. And go at Liliana for 2. We're a little bit away from being able to do too much, but we can start dinging away at our opponent. And then next turn we get to look. Shardless Agent into Deathrite Shaman. So that Deathrite Shaman is not as useful as it should be. Let's just go ahead and steal this Ancestral Vision. And boom, come back to our turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to keep this one. And let's see. We're one away from being able to do this for the full amount. But what we can do... Come on. Okay. What we can do is go get another, or a knight, and send this across. Our knight's pretty big, our knight's pretty bad. But our knight is big enough to deal with this, and we have more than enough to be able to deal with this. So there's a really big goif on the table. Can our knight get bigger than that? Let's see. Well, first off, we can't remove all of the instant sorceries or lands, so this ability goes off. There's 2 planeswalkers, so there's only 1 artifact, so we can shrink goif by 1. Yep. Okay. Let's see. We only have 1 forest. That is something to be aware of. Well, we've got 2 green sources, and that'll help out. So I think for right now, I think we play the second knight. Keep up the green source here. That way we can eat the Baleful Strix. That'll drop that to a 6. If he eats a land, then that goes to 4. That'll make that a 6, so we'll have to double block. And then next turn we can kill off the shaman. Hopefully. So, yeah. Let's go green. And there. Alright. Otherwise, we don't fetch with the knight until we get active. A second shaman. That pulse seems really good right now, actually. So, what are you doing? You're going to 2 me again? Okay. I'm just going to let this go, take the pulse. So those 2 can go back. I had to make sure that said put cards back on top of the library. So let's see. We'll go ahead and 2 him. I can't do that. It's a funny situation. Let's just go green, colorless, black. Alright, creature count is down. We lose our life source, but now we can actually fetch out a color here. And our knights should be gigantic. I think we can force him to block, keeping back both creatures. So let's just bang bang this one. Go there. Actually going to get the Bayou here. So knights are 7s. This makes knights 8s. So let's turn this into Mazavith. And let's take a look. Canopy, not what I'm wanting. Finks is pretty good, though. I will keep the Finks. We can't keep an extra card, so yeah. Let's go ahead and send both knights in. I have no problem killing a goif. Let's see. Counterspell is about the only thing that's going to really cause an issue. So let's untap our knight. And we can play our Finks. So we have a little bit more life. I'd say we're doing pretty well. What do you guys think? Alright. So we just kind of overwhelmed with creatures. This is actually one of those weird matches where I would actually like the 4th swords. Let's go ahead and sort this. So this actually may not be the best card for this matchup. But I'm expecting things like Perish from him, so I don't think I want to bring in a green creature. Let's just cut all those off to the side. Okay, so if I'm bringing in a creature, it becomes one of those. You know, I think we're fine. That may not be the greatest card in the world, but it is a good card. And this hand isn't the worst. It's not really all that bad. It's a little slow. But in theory, we should be fine. No shaman from him. That's a great thing. That's a nice one to see. Let's go ahead and go get the Bayou. And we'll give him a chance to take out a spell. Nope. Alright. So next turn we have the mana for Bob. But I think I'm going to play Mystic over Bob. We'll go get the spell. If he plays a Bob himself, we'll Pulse instead. I'd rather not have him start drawing cards. Some of these lists run Jace. Somebody told me that some of them don't run Bob, which is fine. I think that sounds retarded, and I use that in the sense of being offensive to the person playing the deck, but that's just me. A pretty big Goyf. I think I'm okay with the Goyf right now. The Goyf is not the main threat. Finks, that's actually a really good one. He could Daze. I don't know if they play Daze. I don't remember if they play Daze. Let's see, that would make a 1/2 Goyf if I bogged. If I bog, I'm one turn closer to being able to play this as opposed to waiting. It also gives me Bob as opposed to Finks. We can do Finks next turn. We'll make his Goyf smaller. We'll put the Bob down. If he's got a Daze, that kind of blows, but, I mean, so be it. We'd still be taking out his yard and not ours. If he does play a Liliana, we'll sack the Arbor, we'll keep the Bob. If he kills this, that's okay as well. I mean, Goyf becomes a 3/4, but we get to untap, play Finks, and go from there. If we can, we'd like to... Okay, so Liliana's out of the picture. We're looking at Abrupt Decay right now as being the only option, and from there we still get Finks, and that's the big thing that we want. If we can land Sigarda, she's pretty much a good game versus them. Fetching, as well as red. Well, that was unexpected. Let's see, which plan are we going for next turn then? That was really unexpected. So he's 4-color. I think I'm just going to go for this plan. The reason I'm not going this plan is because if he plays Liliana, we're kind of in a position where it is a threat. It's something that we can't deal with. If he plays Liliana now and forces us to sacrifice, we sacrifice this if he can't swing in, and then we can pulse and kill the Liliana. So we get a pseudo 2-for-1. Which was the point of Strangleroot Geist. Ooh. That could hurt. It's a Jace. That's... Well, we can pulse the Jace. Jace will lift up, yep. So we'll end up taking 8 away from this. Alright, there's a land. Let's just go ahead and fetch and deal with that Jace. I'm going to get the Savannah. Ooh, maybe I wanted Scrubland. I guess it's kind of a moot point at this interval. So that'll take care of the Jace. Hopefully he does not have a second. If we draw another land, we may be able to... Well, we can plant this and then this and grab the Batterskull, and then we can Batterskull and Bob. So if we do that, that means we discard Sigarda. Yeah. Wasteland. Okay. Not Liliana. I'm just going to go ahead and F6 that. We could also draw swords or removal. A second Goyf. There's only the one pulse. Yeesh. So let's see here. Can we win this? I don't think we can at this point. Let me take a look. So we play Kitchen Finks. We go up 2 life. They both swing in and he nukes a spell out of the yard. We die. Or we go to 1. And then we have a Kitchen Finks to block. He nukes a spell on his next turn. We'd need to draw removal. We play these 2. We have to... Kitchen Finks looks like it's... And that's just to survive 1 additional turn. Nope. Let's take that. Yeah, we have to draw... We have to draw removal and land. Yeah, it looks like we're dead. Trying to play this out in my head if there's a way. Let me tell him. Let me take a look. So we play Finks. We go up to 8. He swings in and eats. We go to 2 life. We have an untapped Kitchen Finks. We go back up to 4. We have to draw removal. It has to be an Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay this and play this one. Then we have to draw a second Abrupt Decay and play Bob. Or, no, that's... Or we draw land and we play the Batterskull. And then we still need a second Abrupt Decay and then a third Abrupt Decay. I love odds. Let's see. So we go up to 8. Of course, if he has removal for this, it just makes it so that whole plan is gone because we don't have a blocker for this the next turn. If we play both of these, they just chump him and he eats a little bit of our life total and we pretty much die. So he could also eat this, and in which case we're kind of in a bad position as well. He did not. So we're going to be going to 3 life. Into a Shardless Agent. Well, well, well. So what do we need now, my friends? A lot more than we did the turn before. That was a really good whip player. There's our pulse. Yep. Him does not do it. That is the game, folks. We are dead. Alright. Well, that's too bad. He drew a lot of creatures. We drew a lot of creatures, but we did not have the mana to support them. Our wastelanded land stopped us from being able to do that. Had we had this, we could have plopped this down, still been behind those, but we could have pulsed the Goyf instead of the Jace, and then swung at the Jace. But it really didn't matter. The Jace just was a bounce spell, if you really think about it. A bounce discard. 4 mana, boomerang, plus discard a card. Which isn't actually the greatest, but was enough. So, yeah, let's think about this. So, was there any other way? We drew this so you could take that out of the equation, and the field was these 3. If we play both of these, they chump, he plays this, we're still in the same situation. Well, knowing that that was coming, we're dead either way. But with these 3, we play both of these, they chump, he eats 2 life, so we would have ended up at 1 from this. So with this on the stack, he would have just 2'd us, and that would have been the game. Yeah, we needed to draw Xaxes, and that was not going to happen. There may have been some other mistakes that I made throughout the game, but I'm not thinking back on it very well. I'll go back and look at it and see what all I screwed up on. Who knows? We'll see. But until next round.